What is up, guys? If you're watching this, you know we are back from Vegas. Unfortunately. And I want to give a big shout out to the Buca Luca people. The pizza was very delicious. And I had Krispy Kremes, but they weren't from the conveyor belt.
And so people know that's Buca di Beppo is the name of the restaurant.
Is that it? Oh, okay. What did I say?
Little
people.
Smart 2D2 sounds.
Okay.
Sounds what it sounds. That's what it sounded like, though. Yes, we are unfortunately back from Vegas. We'd love to go back. It was fantastic. But it's back to cold weather in the real world and back to sports. So, Kaepernick.
Yeah?
He is the starter now.
I guess.
And he restructured his deal.
2
So,
years.
yeah, he can opt out if he wants to. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, we talked about it the last episode. You know, that would he start or was he not starting because of the distraction of kneeling? And, you know, we said he might do. I said he would probably, hopefully do better because he's a better fit for the offense than Gabbert. So I'm just excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. He's either going to do really good or he's going to do really bad or just mediocre. If I'm a betting guy, Kaepernick responds very well to adversity. So I'm going to say he's going to do good. Now, they are playing a surging Buffalo Deep team that's won 3 games in a row. And it's in Buffalo.
When has Kaepernick thrived in adversity?
When he first started, they said he wasn't a textbook quarterback because he had tattoos and didn't wear a shirt and tie. Took him to the Super Bowl that year. That's what I mean. Love you too.
Say like the adversity because there was a time period where he was, his play started to diminish, and he got some adversity then, and
But he was hurt
worse.
though. He was hurt though, but he didn't tell everybody he was hurt. He had like 5 different injuries. I'm just saying.
Broken heart isn't an injury.
My heart's not
I
broken.
didn't say yours.
What? What?
See him.
This is not an episode of Twilight, John.
Hurt feelings and broken hearts.
This is Sports Jabber, not Twilight Black Moon. New Moon. I'm going to Guam for that. Sorry, Twilight people that are listening. I'm not
Wow.
Edward. I'm Jama. I'm not a werewolf. I'm a Black Panther.
Why are we talking about Twilight?
Because you said broken heart. That's some Twilight crap that people would throw in there. Just
No.
keep going. Just keep going
Twilight.
with it.
No.
Just keep going.
Kaepernick, yeah, he supposedly fits into Chip Kelly's system better. You know, like I said, he is playing a surging Buffalo Bills.
Won
Played
3 straight games.
Played a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, then he also did the restructuring of his deal. So, bad thing for 49ers fans, if he plays well, he can just be like, you know what, guys, you didn't really believe in me, so I'm hopping on the next train out of here.
Yep. And then if he's stuck with Blaine Gabbert.
And if he plays poorly, well, then you guys don't want him anyways.
Right.
So you're kind of in a, kind of a catch-22 here. It's like, all right, well, maybe he'll play well, and hopefully he won't resent us and want to leave, and then he'll stay. But he's like, nah, forget this, I'm out, I'm going to get some more money, But then again, there's still that conversation of, is Chip Kelly even going to be here at the end of the season? Because if he doesn't do well with Colin Kaepernick as his quarterback, then his system does not work for the NFL, and he needs to go back to college. And you know what? Oregon isn't playing well. They haven't.
They just got stomped by Washington last weekend.
So maybe Chip Kelly and Oregon
goes back to Oregon. Oh god.
I
wouldn't be surprised, but it'd be weird.
Well, he can go back to a place he had success.
True.
Because it's not working out for the NFL.
They're clearly struggling in Oregon right now too.
Yeah. So go back to Oregon. He can just pick up where he left off and be successful there. Because there's not a whole lot of college coaches that fare well in the NFL.
Except that I hate to say this, the guy that chews all the gum, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, going back, the first one, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Along with Pete Carroll, they're the only two that have won a college championship and a Super Bowl. So 2 out of how many have tried. So
a lot.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of success there when you go from college to the NFL. Just what works in college doesn't seem to translate to the NFL. That was spread offenses with options, or whatever. Don't work because one, it might work like Chip Kelly. His offense worked for a little bit, but then the defensive minds in the NFL caught on and started to draw some schemes that stopped it. Whereas in college, that doesn't seem to happen that often.
And too, he ran into the problem with Philly too. He didn't have his players anymore that fit the scheme. Like he had Sam Bradford trying to do a read option last year too.
But then also he was the one that brought those people in.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why they kicked him out of Philly. It's like, hey, you brought these people in. These are the people that you thought
work.
You thought these were going to be people that would fit your offense, and your offense still stunk. Mm-hmm. So you know what? It's just go. And now in San Francisco, he does not have the players that he needs to run that offense, just because.
No. Blaine Gabbert, are you brain dead, or do I need a pacifier in my mouth? What?
The talent level on the 49ers offense is low. Very low. I mean, Carlos Hyde and...
Well, and then the thing I don't get either with Blaine Gabbert, he takes no shots down the field, at least with Cap. He takes shots down the field. Gabbert doesn't throw them at the markers. He throws them like 4 yards behind.
Yeah.
Or if you need a first down, first down, okay, I'm going to throw it 2 inches behind the marker. Oh, fourth down.
Well, again, what plays are being called, and who is he going to throw it to?
Jeremy Curl is doing pretty well for him.
He was dealing with an ankle injury or something like that.
Right, but
Torrey Smith has been just non-existent.
That's because the quarterback.
And then out of those two,
Carlos Hyde.
Yeah,
they
he's a running back.
They need to give Hyde the rock more.
Well, he also
give
needs
him the rock more.
He also needs to run better when they give him the rock.
Well, he's got to have linemen though to open up those holes for him too.
Well, yeah, but so it's okay. Either give him, hand the ball off more to him, and then have him, not get much and rely on your defense to hopefully.
Which Bowman's hurt, so.
Yeah, so their defense.
That's the anchor of their defense right there.
So now, usually with the running game, if your running back isn't doing much, you keep pounding it, and then toward the end of the game,
eventually,
then the defense will start getting tired. But your defense has to be able to make up for that, because if you keep just running the ball, your offense probably isn't going to be on the field that much.
But your defense is going to.
Yeah, what your defense is, and they have to be able to keep you guys within the game so you can still run the ball, and not have to just go to passing because you're down so much.
No.
So yeah, it's
tomorrow's going to be interesting.
It is going to be interesting.
I'm excited because it's going to be either good or bad. I'm just excited to see if he is a fit for the system, I guess.
Yeah, and
they can.
And really, you can't judge completely off of this week because it might take a couple of weeks to get fully acclimated into the system. Which he should know all the plays.
Yeah, he ran the system in Nevada in college, so it shouldn't be.
Plus, as a backup, I'd assume that he was still keeping track of all the plays. It just might get some time to develop that rhythm with receivers because he hasn't had time to play with them. So we'll see. Give it a couple weeks, and after 2 or 3 weeks, then you'll see exactly how he's going to fare in it.
That's gonna be good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
And as far as the slate of games for tomorrow, and there's not a.
The only one that sticks out to me is, I guess 2. Is Green Bay. Dallas is playing really well, and you got 3. I guess you could say Atlanta, Seattle, and then you got Cincinnati playing the Patriots.
Yeah, with Cincinnati, they have not looked well. They have not looked good. They're...
Well, I traded A.J. Green on my fantasy team, and I'm glad because he didn't do anything for me last week.
Yeah,
I would have had him, so...
at some point, I'm wondering how long Marvin Lewis is going to keep his job there. Because, one, they can't win a playoff game. They'll make the playoffs every year, but they can't. But now this year, they're in danger of not even making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens. Is it time to get a fresh start with your coach? Because,
he's been there for ages.
He has, but, he still hasn't won a playoff game.
That's been Cincinnati's Achilles heel. They can make it, but they don't win the game in the playoffs.
So, at some point, it's okay, you might have to just be hey, thank you for making us relevant again. Because for the longest time, they were kind of like the Browns, where it's them and the Browns are fighting for the bottom, last place. Marvin Lewis comes in, gets them relevant. They compete every year. They make, like I said, make the playoffs. It's just once they make the playoffs, that's it. They're one and done.
Yeah.
So thanks for making us relevant again, but we need someone to bring in here that could hopefully win us a playoff game. I mean, they've had the talent there. It's just they haven't been able to do anything once the playoffs come for some reason.
I mean, yeah, the talent's there. Their defense is pretty solid. They have Andy Dalton. They have A.J. Green, stud.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard. They aren't too bad of running backs.
Before that, they had Carson Palmer, Chad Johnson, T.J. Houshmandzadeh. They had Terrell Owens for a year.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they had talent for years and years.
Yeah,
they just couldn't get over that hump.
No, and once again, the common denominator in all that is Marvin Lewis. So might be time after the season. If they don't make the playoffs, I think it's time for them to just cut bait and start fresh. Yeah, and he won't be out of a job long.
Someone will grab him.
Some other team will pick him up. I mean, there's always teams looking for a good coach, and maybe like a Tennessee or
Cleveland.
Well, they just got Jack or so. I mean,
they look
great
great against the Pats, by the way.
But I mean, Titans. Some of these other teams that just can't seem to get over the hump. Maybe in the Jags, Rams, if they go 7-9 again, decide to get rid of Fisher. Some of these other teams like, okay, let's bring Marvin Lewis in. Maybe he can at least get us to the playoffs. Like Tennessee, I mean, I'm sure their fans would love to just make it to the playoffs.
They've been relevant since Jeff Fisher was there.
Yeah, so maybe if Lewis gets fired, Tennessee's like, hey, let's bring him in. Maybe he can do the same thing for us like he did to Cincinnati, make us relevant again at least. So, I mean, like I said, they suppose they have the talent. Marcus Mariota, second overall, pick, but he has not looked
not good this year.
He didn't really look good. I mean, he had spurts
last year.
He looked
okay last year.
He had spurts last year, but for the most part, he just has not looked that good. Yeah, a little bit of a disappointment there. But I mean, as far as the picks for tomorrow, first game, 49ers and Bills.
I got the Niners just because I'm a Niners fan, so it's whatever. But they are playing a surging Buffalo team in Buffalo. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going Buffalo. I think they're just going to ride the hot streak and take advantage of the 49ers. I mean, lack of defense for the 49ers. We'll see what Kaepernick is like. But then Eagles, Redskins.
I got the Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles.
I think they're going to have a bounce back. They played the Lions so tough last week.
Yeah, they shouldn't have lost that game. That was a little rough. I mean, the defense, I don't know what happened to the Eagles' defense. They just kind of disappeared there.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't really, Carson Wentz, the last, offensive play of the game for the Eagles, throws that long pass into double coverage, gets picked off. I wasn't a fan of that throw. You had a lot of time. You don't need to take a huge shot down the field. Just start working your way. Because all you had to do was get in a field goal range. So just,
mistake?
Yeah.
Rookie mistake, unfortunately.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna have those, but learn. It's like just take your dings and dunks here, get work down the field.
Take your check downs.
Yeah, you have a minute 27. They had I think 1 or 2 timeouts left.
Yep.
So you had plenty of time. Just start.
Yeah, it wasn't panic. It's not like there was 32 seconds there where you're doing no huddles.
Yeah. Then one of probably the worst games of tomorrow: Browns and Titans. Now is that? I mean, neither team looks great.
I have no comment for that game.
I'm going Tennessee just because, I'm
going Tennessee.
Tennessee has played other teams well. I mean, they almost beat Minnesota the first game of the year.
Cleveland, I have absolutely no more faith in you. We did you hard before. Tom Brady almost had, was it 200, 300 yards before half last week?
Mm-hmm. 300, I think. In all honesty, I thought that game was going to be a lot more lopsided than it was. I think the Browns actually stayed in more than I thought they would. I thought Brady's going to have like 6 touchdowns and 500 yards passing, just completely annihilate them. But it wasn't.
Did he? I think he had 403, didn't he?
Something like that.
Just next game. I got nothing.
But Cleveland, your Indians are up 1-0 in the ALCS, so you have something to cheer for. Then Ravens and Giants.
I got the Ravens.
Me too. They've been a surprise.
Eli's looked like Eli Manning.
Yeah, Odell Beckham,
look good.
He looked better last week. He got his first touchdown, and then he went and hugged the field goal net.
I saw that. That was awesome.
So, that's the attitude you have to have. I mean, yeah, your team is struggling, but pouting and throwing fits, that's not going to help anything.
You're still, at the end of the day, doing something that you love to do.
Mm-hmm. Panthers and Saints. Panthers, that panic button is being pressed hard.
Oh, yeah, that thing's mashed in right now. That's like Krispy Kreme sitting on cookie sheets like they were where we stayed at, not on the conveyor belt, Carol. Not on a conveyor belt, Michonne. Sorry.
It's true, those nuts weren't that good.
Yeah, it was just
a little disappointing. But I'm
going with the Saints. Sorry. It's in New Orleans, isn't it?
It is in New Orleans.
Even if Cam Newton's back, how's he going to look?
He is starting. I'm going to go with the Panthers. Just the Saints, they play well, but they always find a way to lose.
So, the Brown syndrome kind of there?
More like a Charger syndrome this year.
Oh, okay, yep, I got you on that one.
But the Chargers did win Thursday.
They did win Thursday. They almost lost again, though.
And I'm sure everyone on every Chargers fan was like, this cannot be happening again. We cannot lose this game again. Broncos get the onside kick, have a chance to win. Every Chargers fan was probably tightened up like, oh my God, please do not say we're going to blow this fourth quarter lead again.
I was just waiting for him to score.
I think everybody was.
I was waiting for it.
Then you got the Jags and Bears. I'm gonna go with Jags.
Even though they made you look awful this year.
Yeah, but I mean the alternative is the Bears.
Brian Hoyer, slinging it.
Well,
not Jay Cutler syndrome.
Let's say Chicago. That's your new quarterback for the foreseeable future.
Oh yeah, they said if Jay Cutler got his job, it wasn't guaranteed to get it back when he got healthy.
And that's understandable. I mean, he wasn't playing well.
And he hasn't played well his whole career in Chicago.
But for some reason, there's Bears fans that love him. I don't get it.
Jesse Fry, what is your comment on the box, Jesse, to see what you think? If you want Hoyer or you want the Jay Cutler syndrome.
He's a Cutler guy for some reason. I don't know why. He just loves, having him play with a little bit and then destroy their chances by screwing up.
You may as well be a Browns fan, Jesse. Sorry, bud.
He could be traded to the Browns. Browns desperately need a quarterback. They're on their 10th one this year already, so trade him to the Browns. Browns can't do any worse. Yeah. Rams and Lions. I'm going with the Rams. The Rams will look good.
Oh,
their defense has been playing well.
I picked the Lions, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Rams. They got a really stout run defense, and they're surprising people.
Oh yeah. I mean,
they surprised me. I think they're 3-1.
3-2.
3-2. Okay,
yeah, just lost to Buffalo. So yeah, 3-2, but still, I mean, that's better than we were thinking that they were going to be at. I mean, after that first game where they got annihilated by the Niners, we were thinking, oh god, they're going to be, they're going to be down there with the Browns.
Game. Doesn't take much to be done with the Browns, but
yeah. Yeah, then Steelers Dolphins. Dolphins look terrible. Ooh.
I got the Steelers. Le'Veon Bell's back. He looked great. Big Ben spreading the ball around. They're fully healthy minus Martavius Bryant.
I mean, Steelers are just
too good.
Way too good compared to where the Dolphins are right now.
Outmatched.
Dolphins, Tannehill, I think it's time to just cut bait with him. Try find someone else. I mean,
yeah, sorry, Jamie, buddy, but your Dolphins have, once again, no hope for this season.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
next game. I don't know.
Yeah, start your college scouting now. See if there's any good quarterbacks you guys may draft. As we mentioned before, Bengals Patriots. Bengals have not looked good. I'm going Patriots.
I hope it's a good game, but I don't see it. As good as the Bengals defense is with their players back, it's in New England. Tom Brady's going to shred them. I got Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots are just going to be too good for them. Chiefs and Raiders. The division leading Raiders.
They're making us look good.
They are. We both
They're 4-1.
They are.
They're 4-1.
It's Chiefs are a tough play. It is in Oakland. I'm going with the Raiders.
I originally had the Chiefs, but just because sometimes the Chiefs don't play well on the road, I'm gonna go with Oakland. I gotta go with Oakland. They're looking really good right now. Crabtree's having a resurrection of his career. Derek Carr's looking really good.
Yeah.
That defense that they spent all the money on is finally looking good in free agency. So, yeah, I got the Raiders. I think they're going to be 5-1.
Then Falcons Seahawks. I'm going to take a little bit of a surprise pick here. I am picking the Falcons. I mean, because the Falcons are always good during the first half of the year. It's
And
just
then
that
they
second
just
half where they fall
plummet.
off. So it's still early, so they can still play well.
This is hard for me to admit, but I'm going with Seattle.
I mean, it is in Seattle.
It's in the 12th man.
So I mean, like I said, I'm going a little bit of a surprise pick. I'm going to pick Atlanta to take this one.
And I say that because you're probably going to see Richard Sherman matched up on Julio Jones.
Oh, definitely.
And people love him or hate him. He's still probably one of the best corners in the league right now. He's that good. Players don't even throw to his side.
No, and it will be tested because
Yeah.
that is Matt Ryan's main target is Julio.
Is
So
Julio.
he will definitely be tested. Colts and Texans. I mean,
This is a 50-50 game.
it is.
I don't know.
You know, I think I'm gonna go with Houston just because
I'm gonna go
it's
with
in
Houston.
Houston.
As awful as Osweiler was looked the last weeks,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
mean
go with Houston.
that comment or the comment that Colts GM made about they spent all their money on Andrew Luck and couldn't upgrade the line because of his contract.
Yeah, so why would you spend that much money on him then? Why would you
'Cause-
want to build up your line instead?
Well, they wanted to keep Luck. I mean, you have to have a good quarterback.
Right.
But I mean, that's
But
a comment you don't normally hear a GM make.
Right. I mean, you look at Dallas, they have the best O-line in the league, and they're doing good with the rookie quarterback, Prescott, and Ezekiel Elliott.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, you have to think, Andrew Luck had all this hype coming out of the draft. He was supposed to be the next John Elway, everyone kept saying.
It was his first year.
He looked good. He looked good the first few years. Then he got hurt, and then this year he gets
Who's
hit.
Andrew Luck?
He gets
Yeah.
hit more than anybody else in the league.
Yeah.
Especially maybe Cam Newton, but Cam Newton runs and
He sticks his head out like an idiot.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's not something like GM usually says, but he's kind of it seems like he's hinting at Andrew Luck's like, hey,
Step
we
it
could
up.
really, or it's like we should really look at restructuring your contract
Yeah.
if he wants to be able to afford someone better. But then again, and you don't have to spend money on an offense. You can draft an offense. The Dallas Cowboys, they drafted that line, so it's not like for the first several years you're not spending a ton of money on that line, but it's a great line. Every good NFL team is built through the draft.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to draft well, and you have to draft to your needs.
Yep.
The Colts have not done a great job of that. They got their quarterback, but they need protection for him.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
he's got people to throw to, T.Y. Hilton, but he's got to get the time.
yeah,
to
I mean,
work.
what good is a great quarterback if he doesn't have time to throw? You know, if he has someone in his face all the time, you can throw as great as you want, but you're not going to have time to throw. So they have to address that offensive line. Like I said, mainly through the
Going
draft.
back to the Dolphins, I found out from a source earlier today that the Dolphins head coach released like 3 of their starting tackles because Daniel's getting hit so much. I don't know if that'll do anything. I think he'll still get hit.
Worth a shot. I mean, can't be any worse.
I like Krispy Kremes over Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know.
The Monday night game, Jets Cardinals. Man,
I got the Cardinals. But the
I-
Cardinals are struggling though.
They are,
too.
but the Jets aren't looking that great either.
It's a 50-50
Yeah,
coin
I'm
toss.
going to go with the Cardinals. It's in Arizona. Finally, Cowboys Packers. That's slated to be one of the better games this week.
That I'm excited for that game just because.
How good is Dak Prescott be able to do going to Lambeau? You have the mystique of Lambeau Field going against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
And plus, you have the catch. That divisional game a few years back that Des Bryant was ruled incomplete.
Yes.
If he plays.
Yeah, they're still not sure if he's going to play.
questionable.
So, I mean, that's going to be a big test for Prescott. I mean,
He does have the good O-line, though, for him.
he does, yes. I
So
mean,
we will see.
Packers, they have a decent pass rush. Obviously, you have Clay Matthews there. He can get through anybody. And so, yeah, I mean, is Dak Prescott going to continue this unforeseen pace? Is almost has broken the record for most pass attempts without a interception to start the career, just behind Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is he going to be able to keep that up? I mean,
Is Ezekiel Elliott going to continue his running game?
yeah, the Packers have a very good run defense.
Right.
They've only allowed 177 yards running the entire year.
I mean,
So
it's going to be this top O-line against this pretty stout run defense.
Yeah, so that's
someone's
gonna
got to give.
it's going to be a great matchup. I mean, then if the running game isn't working, and it is just relying on Dak, he's played well so far. Is that can continue? I mean, the Packers have a banged up secondary, so he can take advantage
I think
of
Sam
that.
Shields is out again too.
Yeah, that concussion is just
it's really rough.
Yeah, he has not been able to shake that off. And it should be a good game then. How good is the Cowboys defense going to be against this Packers offense that's slowly starting to get its feel
and can
again?
they move the ball, and in the second half where they have the lead, can they finish?
Yeah.
That's the big thing. They've been losing leads in the second half.
And the Packers offense is slowly starting to, kind of find its way. So can the, Cowboys defense put them, stop them. So it'll be interesting. So yeah, it's a good game. Honestly, I'm going with the Packers just because I'm a Packer fan.
This is a tough pick for me because it's in Lambeau. Rodgers could go off and they could play well, but then you have the other thing: their O-line could hold up, and Zeke could rush for 200-some yards, and Prescott could light it up. Shout out to my boy Sean Otis, but oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna go Green Bay just because it's in Lambeau. If it was in Dallas, I'd go Dallas. Either way, it's probably gonna be a great game.
That is probably that is one of the best games
in this slate. Yeah,
there's not a whole lot else out there. Then obviously
some Cubs love.
Got some good football. Baseball,
love,
yes. Got the
going back.
ALCS started yesterday with the Cleveland Indians taking Game 1 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 2 starts tonight. Game 1, NLCS, Dodgers versus the Cubs.
Is it Arrieta versus Kershaw?
No, it's John Lester versus Kenta Maeda. Kershaw just pitched in Game 4 of the NLDS to be able to advance him.
Okay.
So he's scheduled to start Game 2. And that's one advantage the Cubs have is the Dodgers didn't get a chance to get their rotation set how they wanted. And plus, they use that bullpen a lot. They drain that bullpen, so how good is that bullpen going to be? How rested is that bullpen going to be for the Dodgers? Because Dave Roberts, man, he loves to make pitching changes. He made the most pitching changes this year, more than anyone has ever done. So how rested is that bullpen? Because also playing Kershaw that pitched on short rest, got 2 outs in the final game of the NLDS to clinch the series. So he's come back Game 2. Their next starter is normally Rich Hill. He's pitched 2 times in a row on short rest, so that'd be short rest again. And outside of Clayton Kershaw,
we talked about that earlier in the year.
Yeah, the rotation isn't that
it's not
good.
As deep.
So they just have to hope they get something out of their pitching. Game 1, Cubs have John Lester. The Dodgers were terrible against left-handed pitching.
He's been a beast.
Oh, he's 11-1 since the All-Star break with a 1.6 ERA.
He's tearing it up.
And the Dodgers have not fared well against left-handed pitching. They have played poorly. So, the team that wins Game 1 of the championship goes on to win the series 66% of the time. So, now with the Cubs, any stats like that just throw out because they're the Cubs. They have that aura around them. So, how much... everyone keeps saying the biggest detriment to the Cubs, the biggest obstacle they have to overcome is just their history.
The curse.
Will they, once something bad happens, then does that start creating things people say like, oh my god, here comes a spiral, this is where everything starts to go south. This is where the curse, starts to rear its ugly head.
First time for everything.
They have the talent and the players to overcome it. John Lester played with the Red Sox, won a World Series. John Lackey's won a World Series. Brent Zobrist won a World Series. David Ross won a World Series. Theo Epstein got the Red Sox team together that broke their curse. He's here at the Cubs. If he can break the Red Sox curse and the Cubs curse, he is the greatest general manager that has ever lived. How can you argue otherwise? Two of these, historic curses that have supposedly been there, and he breaks both. Oh, come on. Just, put his bus in the Hall of Fame immediately after the World Series, you're in, congratulations. There's really not much discussion, of him being one of the top ever. So, like I said, the Cubs, we took many years of just being beat down, losing, and when Epstein came in and said, you're going to have to endure this for a while because we need to restack our farm system in order to get where we want to go. Well, it's paid off. 2 years in a row, NLCS, it's the first time it's ever happened for the Cubs. But now, it's great and all, but it was kind of a World Series or bust type of thing. It's like, if we don't make the World Series, how much of a disappointment is it this year?
Can you guys just tell the passion that this guy has for his teams? I just love it. I might shed a tear here.
1908.
Does anyone have a tissue?
Oh, believe me, the Cubs win the World Series. Tears are streaming down my face. I'm just
gonna have to put it on Sports Jabber.
I'm just saying that right now. I mean,
it's okay.
I'm pretty sure every Cubs fan will have tears streaming down their face should that happen. Hell, even if they just make it to the World Series, I mean, that in itself is huge because they haven't been there since 1945.
It's okay. I bawled a few years back when the Niners. I won't talk about it.
So
never mind.
Cubs Dodgers should be a good series.
Cubs are definitely the most complete team, though.
Yep, the last time the Cubs and Dodgers only met one time in the postseason. That was in 2008, where the Dodgers swept them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, best of 7. It's a little bit. It's a lot different than the second round than the first round. Best 7 is a lot different from best 5. So I mean, 4 wins. That's what you have to concentrate on.
I'm taking the Cubs because they were my pick early on. I said the Sears Tower was going to be red and blue and white, so whatever.
Yeah, so I mean that's.
Call me crazy, whatever.
Game 1 starts tonight. Hopefully the Cubs can start off with a win, take care of business at home. I would love for them to just sweep. That'd be fantastic. But
I'll be watching the game.
Game 2, you got Kershaw going. I mean, he's on short rest, but he is one of the best pitchers in the game.
Right, but then too, if they start Kershaw, then the Cubs have a different multiple of pitches. Do they bring Arrieta or do they dig?
Kyle Hendricks is starting Game 2.
Okay, so Arieta's not even there yet.
Kyle Hendricks is one of the Cy Young favorites for the year.
That's what I'm saying. The pitching is so much deeper.
Oh yeah, then even the relievers have been great. The thing so far this postseason is the offense. The offense hasn't quite been there. They've gotten most of their offense from their pitchers.
Right.
They had 2 home runs from their pitchers.
Sweet.
Jake Arrieta and Travis Wood. Then Kyle Hendricks had a 2 RBI single. So I mean, a lot of their offense came from the pitchers. But now, how much can they build off of that rally they had in Game 4 against the Giants, where they were down 5-3 in the bottom of the 9th, and then 5-2, excuse me, scored 4 runs, took the lead in Game 1. So, can they build off that momentum? Giants or the Dodgers too haven't quite had the offense there. They did have a good comeback against the Nationals. They scored several runs in the 7th, ended up winning the game. Whose offense can get going? American League, Indians, Blue Jays. Mainly is, can the Indians hold down the Blue Jays' bats? That's what it comes down to.
That's a big...
Did in the first game, but they had Corey Kluber's former Cy Young winner. We'll see how the rest of the series goes, but...
We both know the Blue Jays can swing the wood.
They can. I mean, they can score, runs quick. Plus, if they can win tonight and go back to Rogers Center, that place is going to be insane for 3 games. I mean, it's going to be tough. I
like the Blue Jays.
I'm going to go with surprise pick. No one thought the Indians would beat the Red Sox. Swept them. Not many people think the Indians are going to beat the Blue Jays because, one, everyone thought the Red Sox were going to have the best offense. Blue Jays offense. Indians quietly swept the Red Sox and took Game 1. I'm going to go Indians. I mean, how great would that be? The Indians-Cubs World Series. Indians haven't won a World Series since 1948.
Be a great
Cubs
story.
haven't won since 1908.
Good storylines.
So, I mean, either way, one of those teams is going to break a huge drought. So, I mean, that would be fantastic. I'm going to go Indians in the American League.
I will say, as a Niners fan, I know we're talking about baseball, but I can relate to Cubs fans. We haven't had as big of a drought as you have, but before Jim Harbaugh first came, as Niners fans, we knew what it was like to have your team just suck forever. The Niners, before Harbaugh came, the Niners weren't good since Jerry Rice was there. Steve Young, Joe Montana.
Wasn't that long ago.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying, we can kind of relate to what it's like to have a drought, Yeah, so, I mean, my heart goes out to Cubs fans, so, I do hope that they can break the drought. It'd be good for the sport, and it'd be good for the sports world in general.
Baseball should hope that the Cubs make the World Series because the viewership of that series would be monstrous. I mean, that would be the most widely watched World Series possibly ever. Because, I mean, even just casual sports fans that don't even pay attention to baseball, be like,
they would watch it.
Cubs, okay, we have to see what happens here, have to. So yeah, that would be a monumental success for the MLB. They would rake in so much money for that. Hope that happens. We will see starting tonight. I will be watching the game very, very nervously.
I'll be watching with some orange juice and some bucalipi pupa. They are actually first classing it to me tonight. Pepperoni. Large, serves 5 people.
Or in case one. So, everyone, enjoy a fantastic day of football tomorrow. Enjoy the MLB playoffs.
We don't have one.
We will be out till next week. Have a good night.